So, child abuse. What is child abuse? I think everyone has a different version of child abuse, whether or not it's just a smack, being yelled at, or repetitive domestic violence in the house, and being exposed to it. Mine was a combo, and just gotta take a moment to breathe because it's deep. It is so deep that it took me so many years to even think that it was okay to speak about. You know that term, under the carpet, under the rug? Don't talk about it. Hush subject, taboo topics. It's it all. Dear help me if I raised my voice and I spoke out. How rude of me, or wait, better yet, how ungrateful of me to speak out what happened to me. What happened to me? Yeah. So, I bet with that just alone, so many people will never ever speak out. And I get it. I spoke out 3 years ago and it brought such division in my family. It left me with guilt going around in my head to the point that I actually was begging my abuser to forgive me. I was saying, I am so sorry. I didn't want it to be this way. And they turned around and said, "You're dead to me." We'll get to that later on. But, oh, shit. Take me back to my earliest memory. My earliest memory would have been my nails. So, my nails. I remember them being cut. And I don't know, but I remember it being done vindictively to the point where they were always short, sometimes even bleeding. Then I remember the hair. So my hair, when my hair used to be done, used to get pulled so tight that until I was in late 20s, I actually had no feeling in my head. I could get in a situation where my hair was pulled and I'd be like, is that it? Because I was used to it. And that's when I started realizing in my own head, when I started replaying those stories of my nails and hair, that wait, was that fucking normal? Whew, just gave me some goosebumps. And you know what? It wasn't normal. And it wasn't normal after you hear what I'm going to tell you. Because that was just the start of it. Now, we often think of as childhood abuse being our parents. I'll just clear the fact right now, it was not my parents. And I mean, I did get smacked. Honestly, I probably deserved it. I was a little shit. Back in my days, roaming the streets was normal. Staying out late was normal. So, what came next? Growlings. I don't particularly remember full-on hidings, but slap here and there. Yeah, of course I got. But yeah, it goes deeper than that. It goes so fucking deeper than that. And it's actually traumatizing. So deeply traumatizing. So traumatizing that it is actually, tell you right now, it's not fucking okay, okay? In no way, shape, or form is it okay. I was punched in the head. I was punched to the ground. I was choked upstairs. I'm not talking about 1, 2, or 4. I'm talking about 10. I was padlocked in the gate. I was told I wasn't allowed to turn on my TV. I was told I wasn't allowed to play my laptop. I was told, don't let my sisters watch my child. I was called a slut. Not just any old slut. When I walked in the front door, it was like, slut, slut, slut. Yeah, wow. here comes a fucking traumatic deep one. I even had to pay for their drugs. Meth. Yeah, meth. Methamphetamine. And yeah, of course I didn't have to. Maybe. I don't know. But what did that mean for me? It meant hell. It meant hell. It meant a fucking world of hell. But you know what? When I put myself right back there, it didn't seem that way. I just followed orders. It was easy. I mean, I was used to it. It was normal. So I would just go with it. I actually probably didn't know any different. Whether that is the brain trying to protect me, whether it's me knowing no different, I don't know. Actually, I knew different because I was the only one. My sisters weren't getting that treatment. My brother wasn't really getting that treatment. But it creeped along. Yeah. Just gotta stop for a moment and just say, how fucking dare you violate another person's child? But on a perk note, I must say it's taught me something. I do not believe in mistreating other people's children. I believe in giving them the space to be who they are. The saddest bit, though, would be this subconscious behavior has poured onto my children, like the anger that I hold. And that's so not okay. But now I'm learning and I'm aware and I'm here and I'm trying and I'm growing and I'm glowing. So I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. And I'm okay where I am right now. I'm okay to accept my wrongs and I'm okay to learn from my wrongs. Anyway, get back to it. Shit. I'll throw you guys back to one of the situations. I was 16 and I got the opportunity to buy me a car. I had a daughter by then, so it just fit right. A little bit of independency. And I bought me this car. But my abuser knew it meant independent. She knew it meant that I could escape. She knew she couldn't control me. So, we had these big, massive gates. Taller than me. I'm not that tall, but they're taller than me. Around 2 feet. Is that tall? Anyway. I don't remember exactly what happened, but... Oh, I think it was I met this church family and I would go out there for the weekend and I would stay at their house. Thank you guys for supporting me. And I would stay there because it meant peace, it meant love, it meant recognition. And when I would come home, the gate got padlocked. When she went to work, the gate got padlocked. She was the only one that had the padlock and the key. And one day, she found out we knew how to open it. So there was the locks at the bottom that go into the ground, and then the lock that goes across, and that's where she locked it. One day, we wanted to go somewhere, I think me and my brother, and we discovered that if you push the gate at the same time and pull out the bottom locks, that the gate would just go chirk, and the lock no longer locked it. So, bang, bang, bang. Maybe I got knocked on by one of my siblings. That's just what siblings do. I didn't hold anything against that. And she found out. And all hell broke loose. So what did she do next? She couldn't padlock it anymore. That was pointless. She tried to grab my keys off me one day. I don't know what particularly happened that day in me, but defense. I felt defense. And I was going out and she was like, "Give me your fucking keys." Yeah, started taking my keys. And this day I was like, no. And whoo, that opened a motherfucking can of motherfucking worms. Anyway, so She tried to grab them off me, and what did I do? I defended myself. I grabbed them back. She grabbed, it was a bit of tug of war, but I was like, I'm not fucking letting my keys go. I am so sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'm not letting my keys go. She yanked them. She yanked them. She couldn't get them, so she put me in a choker hold. I remember across the roadhouse was actually sitting outside, and also, for my luck, these bikers were biking past, and I met a group of bikers, about 50 of them. They could hear it. You could not see what was going on, and I'm not too sure if it was across the road or the bikers, but one of them rang the police. And yeah, she was choking me up over 10 stairs for me to release my keys. Maybe she was on a meth withdrawal. Can't quite remember. And yeah, they rang the police. I got taken away. I got taken to my nan and auntie's house. And yeah, it still carries on. There's more to the story. Later on that afternoon, after my dad finished work, only hearing her version. And back then, we weren't allowed to speak. And if we spoke, I don't feel like we were heard anyway. He picked me up and he was like, "Oh, go home, take you home, you're okay," whatever. So I went back. I didn't want to go back, but I didn't want to stay with my nan and that because they had a full house. So I got taken back, and that's when the whole slut came on me. And I wasn't allowed to wear my shoes inside. I was the only one. Slut, take your shoes off. Slut, don't do that. Slut. At all. And it happened for a couple of days. Until my payday. Yeah. I paid $150 board by then. I'm not against paying the board, actually. If one thing I can thank them for is teaching me how to pay things. Because without that hardcore, you have to pay for living, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, yeah, payday came around. What else came around? Oh, she's got money to buy my meth. So, all in all, came good. And I actually remember one of my cousins there when she was calling me slut. And I overheard my cousin, like, almost say, like, "Oh, do you have to be like that?" And I deserved it. Ironically. The cops actually asked me if I wanted to lay charges. No, I didn't. And I didn't want to lay charges for two reasons. I believe that I didn't want to be the reason for any conflict in her relationship, and I needed somewhere to still stay. Back then, I do know I was under 18, and I knew I couldn't get my own house. So I just had no choice but to go along with it for a bit longer. Shit. I just have to take a moment to breathe because this is a real story. And it's really my story. Let me take you back to childhood days. I remember when I'd go up for school holidays. These were my favorite time, but almost like a traumatic time at the same time, in a funny way, because when I would stay with my mom, I never wanted to leave my mom. Oh, and I would stay with my dad, I never wanted to leave my dad. So every time it would be vice versa. I would just be like, "Oh, I don't want to go," and I would cry. But as soon as I went, I was just so happy. And honestly, my sisters are the best back then. So I loved being with my sisters, and me and my biological brother, we tossed and turned between go live with my dad, go live with my mom. I actually stayed with my mom majority of the time, regardlessly. And maybe just now to think about it, was it because I subconsciously knew that I was more protected by my mom? Oh, there's another story about that one. Not too bad, but it's some shit we all lived through, especially 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. It's quite normalized. Anyway, I remember I come up for the holidays, and it was like she waited for me to come for the holidays, and all of a sudden needed to do her daughter's rooms. So she'll take me shopping to go and buy them new blankets and new toys, new pillows. And it was almost like a jab to me, like, what does your mum do for you? Look what I'm doing for my kids. I should just feel that is very fucking petty. But control is control, right? Abuse is abuse, right? So that's what it was. I remember too when I was 10. Yeah, I'm chucking you all around because my mind is just, that's what abuse does. It makes your mind scattered until you start opening it up and you realize, shit, it was this, it was this, it was this, it was there, it was that. And it was a wormhole of everything. Anyway, I remember when I was 10 and we got told to go and do the food shopping with her. I loved the food shopping. A shotgun, the front seat. You know, she was good at that. I'll give her that. And I remember we pulled up to Pack and Save. And I remember, and I don't know why I particularly remember this so deeply, but I do remember saying to myself, okay, that's it. I'm not going to lie to my dad no more. And we pulled up to Pack and Save. Yeah, so this is New Zealand. I remember clearly we just pulled up in the van and she said, tell your dad that it was packed inside. We did the food shopping, but it was so packed that we just left it there and went home. I turned around and said, that's it. I'm not going to lie to Dad. Oh boy, what did that mean? No more rides for me. No more food shopping. But you know what? It was a good thing. It was a good thing that I naturally felt big enough to succumb the lies. And we were on a meth run. We were on a meth run. That was typical. We went on lots of those. Back then, did we know what it was? Hell no, we didn't know what it was. But we knew it was something because we'd always pull up. They would always get out. Sometimes not to the extent. I mean, we knew what weed was. You'll smell that shit. That's normal. Is it normal, actually? God damn. But, yeah, shit. Just got to take a moment to laugh because how many meth runs did we go on? And I remember actually this day when my dad was like, that white boy, I'm going to smash him, blah, blah, blah. We turned out to find out that the white boy was the meth bag. It was no man. It was no person. It was no white man. It was the meth. And I remember my dad took our coffee cups, took them all outside and started throwing them at the delivery guy's car. Oh, fuck. It was some funny times. But honestly, now being a mum, if I was to put myself in displaying this behavior, I would see how actually not funny it is and how actually wrong it is. And see that light bulb? Back in the days, we used to have these circle light bulbs. We used to have no light bulbs in our house. I never knew why. I never knew why until I was older. And I realized that meth was smoked in light bulbs. If you didn't know that, now you know. So, yeah, our light bulbs were going for the meth. Yeah. And there was deeper shit, there was more shit, more aggressive shit. I mean, due to the fact abuse was quite normal. And I remember the meth days were the best days. Huh? You're wondering? How the fuck does that work? Oh, if someone's been raised in a meth house, pending, you'll know what I mean by this. But it meant that when they were high, you lived on a high. Not high, but it meant that, oh my God, I can stay up tonight. Oh my God, our parents are distracted. They don't care what we're doing. Oh my God, they're over there and we're over here. hi, we could do whatever. And the come downs, I've seen too many of those days. Way too fucking many of those days. That required, whew, that required a lot. That required us being on our best behavior. That required us being quiet. That required us walking on eggshells. And I just remember the bedroom door closed, and it was by the front of the house, and we would be on the outside, so we don't know what was going on in the bedroom, but we'd hear fuck, ah! Like, and we used to be like, actually, I don't even think we cared. We were just like, as long as it wasn't towards us. But then we're here getting up, and we're like, like, stay out of the hallway, get outside, or get in the bedroom, get away, because we knew she was coming out. And we knew, obviously, she was only going to the kitchen, slamming the doors, getting her feed because she was on the come downs. And what happens when you go on the come downs? You sleep and eat, sleep and eat, sleep and eat, sleep and eat, till you got some more money for your meth. That's pretty much how it worked. And then the cycle repeated again and again and again. And for years and years and years. And you know what? It's still repeating to this day. I personally haven't smoked methamphetamine, so I can't speak on the drug per se, and I can't speak on exactly how that makes someone feel and what it makes them do, but I can talk on the outer hand, on the receiver of a meth addict. Fuck. Did I get abused because of meth? I often think. Did I get abused because of her inner trauma? Did I get abused because I deserved it? Here's a big one. Did I get abused because I was my dad's first daughter? I'll leave you with that. This is part 1. Let's go to part 2 next. Peace, guys.